Just 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, mighty companions, can we acknowledge ourselves first? Give it up to us. Us. That was for who? Yeah, that's right. You have no neutral thoughts. 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 Your thought about what's happening right this moment is not a neutral thought. Your thought that you're having looking at me right now, that thought is not a neutral thought. You have no neutral thoughts. There is not one neutral thought that you have. You have no neutral thoughts. But guess what? You see only neutral things. You see only neutral things. You see only neutral things, but you have no neutral thoughts. You have no neutral thoughts. You have no neutral thoughts. You see neutral things, but you have no neutral thoughts. So you're not having any neutral thoughts. I want you to think about something you were thinking about maybe before you even came in the room, something you're thinking about right now. It could be a person, it could be a circumstance, it could be a situation in your life right now. Do you have one? And you tell yourself, this thought about is not a neutral thought. This thought about is not a neutral thought because I have no neutral thoughts. So whatever you're thinking about, a person, a situation, a circumstance in your life right now, you go, this thought about this person is not a neutral thought because I have no neutral thought. This thought about this person is not a neutral thought because I have no neutral thoughts. See, when you make it sound kind of weird, then you kind of keep it, that's the way I do it. That joker that just pulled out in traffic in front of me. This thought about that son of a God is not a neutral thought because I have no neutral thoughts. So what I want you to use as a subject for this exercise is anything that you're thinking. Is that specific enough? Is that specific enough? Yeah. This thought about this is not a neutral thought because I have no neutral thoughts. So remember the guidelines of the Course in Miracles. If you're here for the first time, the only guidelines to the class. If you're here for the first time, the only guidelines to the class. If you're here for the first time, the only guidelines to this class. If you're here for the first time, the only guidelines to this class. If you're here for the first time, the only guidelines to the class is that you don't have to believe it. You don't have to welcome it. Some of it's going to be hard to believe. Some of it might startle you. You can analyze it if you like, but if you use the ideas, you'll see that the ideas are true. The Course in Miracles is basically about allowing you to see things, teaching you how to see things in such a way that you don't lose your peace. And the premise is, if you don't lose your peace, you can hear your own divine guidance. So I'm not trying to put you into my hands. I'm trying to support you being put into your hands and the hands of God or the higher power. Okay? So I'll say it again. The purpose of the Course in Miracles is to give you new interpretations of everything you're thinking and feeling and seeing, so that that interpretation will allow you to maintain your peace. And when you maintain your peace, you can hear your own inner guidance.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start out with a little bit of lesson 16 on page 26 in the workbook of the Course in Miracles. And the name of that lesson is I Have No Neutral Thoughts. And we're going to make this as practical as we can, which is great. I would invite you to try to remember one thing. Not all of it. I know as much as you remember all of it, that's going to be a strain. But try to remember one thing you hear today. Now, the idea for today is a beginning step. What kind of a step? A beginning step. What kind of step? A beginning. I'm going to repeat a lot. It will drive you crazy because I'm going to repeat a lot. I'm going to repeat more than ever.
Thank you.
Okay? All right. The idea for today is a beginning step in what? Dispelling your belief that your thoughts have no effects. So we're going to today be trying to dispel the belief that your thoughts don't have power. We want to get rid of the belief that your thoughts do not have power. We want to get rid of the belief that your thoughts don't have any effect. We want to get rid of the belief that your thoughts don't have effect. And it says, everything you see, who see? You see. Everything who see? You see. Who see? You see. Y'all are really who see? You see. Yeah, who see? You see. All right, everything you see, who see? You see. Everything. Did it say everything? Could we say anything? Anything, everything you see is the result of your thoughts. Anybody don't understand what that's saying? So what that means is, ye old bank account is the result of your thoughts. Your relationships and everything that's going on in them is a result of your thinking. What's going on at work tomorrow, the way you see it, will be a result of your thinking. Your relationship to Source, God, the all-powerful part of us that created us and everything we see, what you think about that is a result of what? Your thoughts. So that means everything you see, your mama, the way you see your mama, the way you see your father, the way you see your kids, the way you see your friends, the way you see the world, the way you see politics, the way you see every single thing is the result of your thoughts. Now you know why. So whatever the questions you are asking, now you know the answer.
That's right.
What is the answer? It is the result of my thought. The thing that I'm worried about right now is the result of my thinking. The thing I love right now and I'm turned on by right now, that I'm excited about right now, that's the result of my thought. So how can you tell if you have heard this, You will no longer be blaming anything that you're going through that's causing you to lose your peace on anything or anyone outside of you. Right. And until that becomes the way you look at it, you haven't accepted that as true yet. I don't care what you say. If you say, oh, I know it's the result of my thought, go down, bastard, you shouldn't have done that. And that's why I'm upset right now. You know better than that. Well, that's you not realizing the way you're feeling is the result of your thoughts.
Yummy! Yummy! I like those thoughts. It tastes really good.
Y'all think I'm doing something deep, but I'm just checking out all the beautiful women. And don't you believe for a second that that ain't spiritual. Self is spiritual too. How many spiritual men in the house today?
It's a result of my thinking.
It's just a result of my thoughts. That's what it is. What I'm looking at in front of my face is a result of my thinking. If I was not thinking this, I would not be here, you would not be here. So this is a direct example of the truth of what I'm saying. Everything I'm looking at right now is the result of my thinking. And I'm taking this slow because this is so important. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the next sentence says, there is no exception to this fact. So everything you see is the result of your thought means there are no exceptions to this fact because that's what everything means. No exceptions. In the Course in Miracles, there's what I call the no exception rule. As soon as you make an exception, you're now out of the truth. There is no exception when it comes to the truth. The truth, everyone's included in it. And love, everyone's included in it. So any love that everyone is not included in is not love. It's specialness. So there's no exception to this fact. What? Well, thoughts are not big. Thoughts are not powerful or little or weak. What? Thoughts are not big, thoughts are not little, thoughts are not powerful, and thoughts are not weak. Thoughts are not big, thoughts are not weak or little. Thoughts are true or false. So you don't have a big thought and a little thought, a strong thought and a weak thought. Everything you're thinking and everything I'm thinking, do you know that it means that everything you're thinking right now, do you know that it's either the truth or it's not? There's no in between. Thoughts that are true create their likeness, things that are true, perceptions that are true, experiences that are true, and thoughts that are false produce things that are false, experiences that are not true. So let's break it down. A true thought, you can always tell when you're truly having a true thought. Truly having a true thought is because that thought will produce joy. I know this sounds simple and elementary, but if we really realize the simplicity of what I'm talking about, we would not be unhappy right now. So don't let your mind tell you, oh, that's simple, I got that bastard. Well, no, we haven't quite got it yet. So that, don't fool yourself about how awake you are while you're asleep thinking you're awake. See, Course in Miracles says, you woke up this morning and you think you woke up, but you're just having the dream that you are awake. That's deep, isn't it? Yeah. Think about that for a minute. Yeah. So you're having what is called a waking dream. You're just as asleep as you were last night, but now you think you're awake. And he said, the Course says, and you woke up this morning with the same attitude. That paper's gonna be all over the recording, brother. Please, thank you, thank you. I was like wondering what that was. They're gonna be like, oh, what was that? Okay, that's right on the camera. That was the people transforming in the class. So let me get this straight. The Course is saying when you wake up, you have the exact same desire that you had when you were asleep. And that desire is to make everything you see do what you want it to do. What do you think a visualization or a plan is? Don't you know that that's all a plan is? It's you making up what everything and everybody should do for you. How the world should act out your script. So, the Course says we get up in the morning with the attitude of, I want it this way. And if it's not this way, somebody's gonna have to deal with that. So the Course calls this, what we're seeing, a perceptual temper tantrum. You're having a perceptual temper tantrum all day. I want you to be this way. I want this to be that way. I want these to be that way. I want this to be that way. I want you to be that way. I want this to be that way. I want you to be that way. I want this to be that way. I want that to be that way. I want this to be that way. I want this to be that way. I want this to be this 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 way. I want this to be that way. And I want you to be this way. And I want you to be that way. I want it to be this way. And I want it to be that way. And I want them to be that way. And I want them to be this way. This is what I do all day. Is this too real?
It's real.
This is real. You know that's what we do. You know this is the truth. So, then everything I experience is the result of that thinking, and that thinking is either true or false. And I can tell by the way I feel which one it is. So, would you say a person that's unhappy most of the time would be a person who is using false thinking most of the time?
Yes.
And someone who's peaceful and cheerful most of the time are people who are using correct thinking most of the time. Well, where do you fall? How many of y'all 20% looking at stuff right? Okay, let's increase the odds. How many of you are 2% looking at stuff? You bragging. I know y'all don't look to 2%. So then it goes on to say, those that are true create like their own likeness. Those that are false make their likeness. And there is no more self-contradictory concept. Oh, I love this. There's no more self-contradictory concept than the idea that you can have idle thoughts. What do you mean? Well, it means what is giving rise to your whole perception of your world could hardly be called idle.
That's right.
Something that's causing everything that you're seeing and everything that you're experiencing could hardly be called an idle thought. Your thoughts are not idle. You know, they're not even American idols. Your thoughts are not idle. Your thoughts are not idle. Your thoughts are not, you don't have idle thoughts. Your thoughts aren't like idling around. Your thoughts are producing the perception of the whole world you're experiencing. The whole world. Not just your world, the whole world you are experiencing is coming from your thinking. Wow, 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 that is so deep. That's so deep. Then it goes on to say, every thought you have is contributing to the truth or to illusion. Notice how the Course loops back around, and then it says the same thing another way, because it's saying, maybe if I give you the same idea 1,000 different ways, maybe one of them you'll get. So we'll try it another way. So we'll say, every thought that you have contributes to truth or to illusion. Then you go, well, what does that mean? Whenever you're reading the Course, you go, well, what does that mean? Well, it means that every thought that you have is either extending the truth or it's multiplying more and more lies. Either everything that you're thinking is either multiplying more and more love, or everything that you're thinking is multiplying more and more problems, more and more misperceptions, more and more fears, and more pain. So all day long, your thoughts are multiplying, 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 either something that reflects the truth, which brings you joy, or your thoughts are multiplying something that's not true, that's bringing you feelings of guilt and anger and fear. Then we are told by truth that so you can indeed multiply what's nothing, but you're not going to extend what's nothing. So I can give you a whole lot of nothing, but I can't extend it. So you got all my nothing. If I'm not giving you love, I'm not giving you nothing. If I'm not giving you love, I'm not giving you anything. So you don't have to have any grievances against somebody because they've either been giving you love or nothing. They either giving you freedom or nothing. They're either giving you peace in your perception or nothing. That explains my feelings of emptiness. That's why I feel empty, because I'm multiplying nothing. You feel empty, you're giving nothing. One of the sentences I hate in the course is, the only thing that can be lacking in any situation is what you are not giving. Whoa! Whoa!
What you call me?
That's right, what you call me? I'll say it again. The only thing that's missing in any relationship you're in is what you're not giving. What? I know I'm giving. They just not giving it back. I'm giving. Wow, that's deep, isn't it? And so I started saying it to myself. Well, whatever I think is missing in this communication, or missing with this person, or missing this, whatever I think is lacking in this situation, I'm not giving it. I'm not giving it, that's why I don't see it. I'm not giving it, that's why I'm not seeing it. Why do I need to say that? So that I can become aware of consciously giving it. Yeah. I want joy, so when I stand up here, I try to give it to you. Not that you have to receive it, not that you even have to like it, but it looks on some of y'all's faces. And then some of y'all look like you like it. And I give it to you more. Because that's the way it works. Where you feel appreciated is where you give more. So I make it a point of trying to be as appreciative as I can of everybody in my life, and I don't let them assume it. As much as possible, I will say it. I don't want any doubts in your mind that I appreciate you. So that's what makes me feel good about being up here in front of you right now. I want to give joy, but to give it to you, I cannot be concerned about how you receive it.
That's right, yes.
I'm going to do some videos that's going to be expressing sides of me you've never seen before, that you don't even think exist. You know what? I know what's going to allow me to do that? I won't be looking at your faces. And I don't mean that as an insult. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you try to express yourself and then you get hooked on how people are reacting, you don't allow yourself to express.
Yes.
So that's all I mean. I know there's a me I'll express to you if I'm not looking at you that I'd never show you looking at you. And I'm going to let you see him.
Can't believe it about you, but okay. I said, I can't believe it about you, but okay.
You can't believe what about me?
That there is more. I thought you show everything.
That is my advanced class. It's a weekend workshop. You'll see everything.
With some real hands-on time.
It's a real hands-on class. No one that never go viral. dance class. That's right.
That's all right.
But I said
Okay.
it as a compliment, you know.
Oh, I took it in a beautiful way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. See, what you said was neutral. I had a choice about
Sure.
how I wanted to see it.
Right.
And I chose to see it as a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Because you show your personality.
But I'm telling you, you all see about, I would roughly say 10% of what I have to share and show you. The Course in Miracles says, you communicate with people on the level which will not increase their fear. And I can scare the hell out of y'all. Because I believe you're one with me more and more, and I see you as me more and more, and I feel connected to you more and more, and I feel safe with you more and more. So it makes me want to express myself more and more and more and more. But I also realize that you will be interpreting my expression, and I'm conscious enough to know that there are some expressions I could show you that would cause you fear. How do I know that? Because you don't show it to me. That's all you have to know. People always give what they want to receive. Always. You can always, the person who wants a hug is going to give one. The person who really wants to communicate is going to be the one to walk up to people and start talking to them. The person who doesn't want to be bothered is going to be the one who doesn't talk and gets out of here as fast as they possibly can. And they're innocent. But you don't have to wonder what anybody in your life is thinking. What they are giving you from their heart is what they want to receive. I want joy, so I try to give joy. I want people to be sane with me, so I'm going to try to be sane with you. I want peace, so I'm not going to attack you. I want to feel innocent, so I'm not going to tell you you're guilty. You see what I mean? Everything I want, I'm going to attempt to give to you. But I don't necessarily expect you to give it back to me, because that'll just make another grievance. But what I do know is the universe is fair. And so it will come back to me in the perfect form for it to come back to me in the way I need it the most. I might feed you a sandwich when you're hungry. It might come back to me as somebody helping me change my tire one night. So the way it comes back isn't necessarily the way you gave it, and certainly not through the person you gave it to necessarily. So you should say, I'm willing for everything I've ever given to come back to me in the best form possible for it to come back to me right now, and let everybody off the hook that you think you gave something to that they haven't been appreciating you. Let's go.
I have a long list.
You have a long list.
Which I shouldn't.
It's okay. It doesn't matter what y'all do, whether it reflects the truth completely or not. You are so cute. It doesn't matter. So y'all just be quiet. I'm gonna hold up. I'm looking for questions in just a minute. I'm gonna get this out. So hold on. So I don't want to lose sight of the point, because we can get caught up in the story. And that's what comes up, the story of my thinking. So now I want to give an example of the story of my thinking. My boss and I had a disagreement yesterday, blah, 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 blah. What do you think about that? The answer is, you and your boss had an exchange that either extended the truth or extended the lie. You either had a conversation that moved you toward love, or you had a conversation that moved you toward fear. The beautiful part is this. The way you feel has nothing to do with your boss. So therefore, you can choose a thought that only gives you joy, and in that joy, you will have peace. And in that peace, your own divine guidance will tell you what to say to your boss, so that you can have a peaceful outcome. But even if your boss doesn't do what you want them to do, you still can have your peace, because it's your thought that is giving you your result. Does that make sense to everybody? So I'm empowering you, and every time your mind goes to what about the other person, you're disempowering yourself, because you're increasing the belief that there's some connection between your inner joy and their behavior, which makes you just like everybody else in the world at that point. I don't care how spiritual you think you are. If you go back to, if they would change, I would be happy, you are just like anybody in the world that's asleep, no matter how justified you feel. Okay? Now, it says that besides your recognizing that thoughts are never idle, your salvation, which is your peace, your healing, requires, what does my healing require? Well, my healing requires that I also recognize that every thought I have brings either peace or war, either love or fear. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? That's what we just got through saying. So you mean war is coming from a thought? Yes, all war that you see in the world is coming from a thought. That's what's causing the war. So if you were being conscious, you would go, what are the thoughts that's causing the war in Iraq? What are the thoughts that's causing the war? What are the thoughts that are causing the wars? Then it goes on to say, every thought you have is either going to bring you peace or war, either love or fear. What is love? It's the opposite of fear. So if you feel fear, love is the opposite of it. Do you know when your learning will end? Do you know when the Course says your learning will end? And it says there is an end of learning. I know I used to hear all the time, you will be learning forever. Now we'll go, that sucks. I was never a person that was thrilled by that when I would read that in a book. I don't want to learn forever. I want to create. I want to be a part of something new that's never been seen or done. Learning is always based on the past. Learning just keeps you in the past. Creating puts you in the now. So what is the end of learning? He said, well, the end of learning is when you have learned how to recognize everything that is not love. Because if you recognize what is not love, then you know instantly who's giving you love. He said the reason why we hurt so much now is we don't know the difference, and so we sometimes allow ourselves to get in relationships that are not truly loving, and so we experience a lot of pain because we thought it was love, and actually in the beginning it is love, but because it's so good, your fear makes you want to hang on to whoever or whatever you think is generating the love, and then you kill it. You suck the life. The only thing left is a tomb. You've seen tomb relationships. Y'all know what they look like, right? It's two bodies together under the same roof, not giving each other no juju. That's right. Two people that got their bodies together. You've seen them at the restaurants. The dining dead. You watch it the whole evening and not being like, no exchange of energy, no communication. That's not saying they got to necessarily be talking, but there be some juice going down. You can feel it.
Right.
The dining dead. They are together. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary of living under the same roof. But we've been living under the same roof for 50 years now. We haven't talked in the last 15, which kind of explains why. And then there are other people who have a vibrant, alive, awakening, juicy, safe, peaceful communication relationship that they're using their relationships to evolve and wake up and discover. And they've been together for 50 years and they are just as turned on, if not more, than the first day they met. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? I want to pinch your butt when you're 95. It might take me long to get my hand. Hold on, baby. Tilt me, Sylvia. Thank you. Because you love each other so much that your bodies look beautiful no matter what age you are. And the older I get, the more important that spiritual vision becomes. I want y'all to love me for my mind. You don't look like you're 65. Looks can be deceiving. I get reminded that I'm turning 65 this year every day of the week. And there are at least 4 or 5 letters in my mailbox every day. You are turning 65. You are turning 65. Medicaid. You are turning 65. You are turning 65. You are turning 65. You are turning 65. 4 or 5 every day. I can't think of any other birthday in my life that has been so recognized. Some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. You're turning. Then I have to remember what the truth says. I am not this chocolate, black, gorgeous body. I know I look like Oreo, caramel. I just got a cavity just thinking about myself. That's how sweet I am. You ever go to the goodness, you didn't even eat anything. I know I'm just so sweet. I'm just a sweet dude. What you talking about? You know what love sounds like when you recognize what it doesn't sound like. It doesn't sound like blame, and it doesn't sound like anger, and it doesn't sound like attack, and it doesn't sound like judgment. So when someone's coming at me that way, I know I'm not being loved in that instant. I don't care if they're telling me they love me while they attack me, because they used to do that. I'm going over on you because I love you. You know, a lot of people shot people, and they'll say, why did you shoot her? Because I loved her. Don't any of you love me that much. Please, I do not need it whatsoever. Okay. So a neutral result is impossible because a neutral thought is impossible. So there is such a temptation. There is such a temptation. There is such a temptation. That sounded like a car getting started. There is such a temptation to dismiss fear thoughts as unimportant, trivial, and not worth bothering about. That it's essential that you recognize all of your fearful thoughts. Recognize all of your fearful thoughts as 2 things. All of your fearful thoughts are equally destructive. All of your fearful thoughts are equally destructive to your peace, but they're also equally destructive to your peace, but they're never destructive to anything that's real. So frightening thoughts are unreal. Fearful thoughts are unreal. What do we mean by unreal? We mean they are not thoughts that last forever. Because the Course in Miracles defines reality as something that's always there, that you can always count on, that never ends. If it's real, it never ends. Now, based on that definition of realness, how real is this? How real is this? How real is this? How real is this based on that definition? Is it real or not? Okay, so when the Course says it's an illusion, it doesn't mean that you don't perceive it. It just means it doesn't last forever. So that means, by definition, I don't care what you're going through that's making you unhappy, it's your request. In any way, you can count on it not lasting forever. Because anything that's unlike real love, by definition, has to end. So if you're in a miserable relationship that you're keeping, it's going to end. And the problem is, when the universe ends something that's not really for our own best interest, we don't recognize love enough to know we just been freed. So we'll run after them. Stalk them. Person that mistreated you, you be, is that Raj I see behind that bush? Don't say you have never done that before. Drove by the house. Seen that car, whose car out there? I I remember one time sitting outside the house of the person that I wasn't in a relationship with that looked like I had been done wrong, and I forgot the truth about myself. And there was tears in my eyes. And the bedroom light went off. And I saw his car. I'm glad I don't hang on to the past. You can tell I've gotten over that. But what was I saying when I was in the relationship? This is not the right relationship for me. This is not the right relationship for me. You don't really get enough. I don't really wish she was different. I wish this would change. I was complaining my little butt off. Shocked. When she met somebody else. How would she not want to be with me? Have you ever not just been a real a-hole and then wondered why the relationship didn't work? And you just be shocked. What? You know, I haven't complimented my mate in 3 months, but then I'm upset because somebody else shows an interest. How cruel is that? I'm not going to treat you right, and I'm not going to even allow you to have anybody that does.
Wow.
I love you. And then there are people who see themselves correctly, who see themselves as an opportunity to remember the love that they are, to increase the loving thoughts. And those people are so grateful for every moment that they spend together in their relationship that they sometimes have to pinch themselves to even recognize that they've allowed themselves to love themselves so much that they drew this kind of person in their life. And I have more of those relationships than the ones that was the tears in the car at night because of my lack of appreciation. So if you have any regret about anything you've done or thought you've done to anybody in the past, I have a message for you. For those of you who still have any unforgiveness about anything you think you've done to anyone in the past, I have a special message from you, for you. The fact that you regret that you did it and you want to learn how to be more loving means you already changed from being that person. So let it go. No. No, I won't let it go. Let it go. Okay. This is the most fun I have. Yeah, sharing the truth is more enjoyable to me than any other thing that I do. Just let my body be used for love. Because what comes through me has an effect on me. The anger that comes through me has an effect on my body. The love that comes through me has an effect on my body. So all of your upset is affecting your body. The Course says, when you change your mind about the purpose of your body, and you start to use your body only to recognize love and innocence and extension and oneness, and you're truly sincere about it, it says your body will not change. You stop aging. So far, I'm not using my for the right purpose. But I'm getting there. I can feel a little taste of youth thing going on. Just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just with a little help from my friends. Is that right? So, before I go further, what's your question?
You know, I so agree with the attraction of the thoughts, whatever we attract. So finally we agree on something, which is great, right?
I'm shocked.
Just joking. But you know, how do you stop it? Because sometimes it just sneaks.
The way you stop it is to say, this thought about that is not a neutral thought.
Okay.
That's what the workbook is for. I'm glad you had this. Because we get the instruction about what to do.
Yeah.
And then we ask, what should I do? Because the answer is in the realization of what you're doing. The answer is in awareness. And we're so used to doing that we don't realize that the answer is in how you're looking at it. And so just like you learn to think the way you think now because you repeated it to yourself, the new way of thinking is going to come from repeating that to yourself. And it's the truth, so the whole universe supports it. See, you have to make yourself miserable on your own. A miserable person, an unhappy person, the universe is not supporting that. Their friends are really not supporting that. Nobody who really cares about them is supporting it. They have to work overtime to make themselves miserable all the time by avoiding any truth, avoiding any sanity, avoiding any kind of joining, and avoiding any type of attention and study. Then they've got to, on top of that, make sure they choose the wrong mate, the wrong job, the wrong everything, so that they stay miserable all the time, so they can know something isn't right for them, and they'll go ahead and do it anyway in order to be miserable. And then they'll attract people to them who are doing the exact same thing to themselves, and then y'all come together and you say, soulmate. Goes by the code name, soulmate. Everybody's your soulmate. Everybody in this room is your soulmate, because everybody in this room is an aspect of you. We are just one of us here. Isn't that awesome? So, let's get to the end of this right quick. All right. So, it says, we will practice this idea. What idea? To stay conscious. What is that? When I say what idea, those who feel like saying it, would you say, I have no neutral thoughts? What's the idea?
I have no neutral thoughts.
Okay. In the practice periods, first repeat the idea to yourself.
I have no neutral thoughts.
Then as each one of your thoughts cross your mind, what are you going to do with it? You're going to hold that thought. Here's a thought. Come on. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. Hold it. Hold that thought. In awareness. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. Then it says, tell yourself this thought about I'm not enough is not a neutral thought. This thought that I'm not enough is not a neutral thought. It's either going to bring me peace or it's going to bring me war. It's either going to bring me love or it's going to bring me fear. It's either going to bring me lack or it's going to bring me abundance. This is not a neutral thought. Now don't get nervous. I'm not going to mess with you. I'm not going to attack you. Okay. Okay. As usual, use today's idea whenever you are aware of a particular thought that arouses uneasiness. I know it's difficult for you to do that because you don't have many thoughts during the day that arouse uneasiness. This is going to be a very difficult lesson for you because you don't have any uneasy thoughts. So what thought would you use this on? Any thought that causes me uneasiness? Then what would you do? He says, well, I'm going to give you the following form. This is what I suggest that you do. Say, this thought about my mama not remembering my birthday, whatever your little ego story is, whatever the thing is that's coming up for you, this thought about me not being able to pay my bills, this thought about me not studying enough, this thought about me not being as spiritual, this thought about me not having the right weight. Because we know that's the real problem. If you were to lose 5 pounds, the earth would be fine. We know it all boils down. You know, if I advertise the course class, it says, this is a course in miracles, and it's going to show you how to lose 12 pounds. There would be enough people, I couldn't sit the people that would be in this room. Because people focus on what they value, and they're only going to be aggressive about something they think is going to give them what they want. So the reason why people are not excited about their spiritual path is because they don't believe it's going to give them what they want. Because if you really knew, in fact, if you knew you needed to be rescued and you were in an abandoned mine that caved in, and they said, we're going to tell you the way out, you would not be doing this. Unless, number one, you didn't want to get out the abandoned mine, or you didn't believe I could get you out of it. Or 3, you've made up your own route out of the mine, and I'm not telling you your route that you've made up. Otherwise, you'd be listening. You'd be on top of it, right? So this thought about my boss is not a neutral thought. Why is it not a neutral thought? Because I don't have any. Then it says 4 or 5 practice periods of a minute we know we're too busy for that. 4 or 5 minutes a day, he says, but do it. Then check this out. The course says it's recommended if you find the practice periods relatively effortless. So we're being told by the universe, I want you to do this 4 or 5 times a day, maybe just a minute. Every time you have one of your thoughts that you complained about something, go ahead and complain. Go ahead and criticize. Go ahead and judge. That's part 1 of the exercise. So now you all have been doing part 1 of the exercise your whole freaking life. Okay, so you complain all the time, and you got things you wish were different, and you have things you're upset about. That's part 1. Now take those thoughts and just say, my thought about this is not a neutral thought because I have none. I don't have any neutral thoughts, so my thought about this, he says, that's all I'm asking you to do. Take what you're already thinking and then just say, this thought about it is not neutral. If you were to do that, it would completely transform your consciousness and your perception. That would allow you to have the peace, that would allow you to have the guidance, that would allow you to know where everything you want is located and how to have it. Just by that simple exercise, because I'm already bitching and moaning anyway. So I already got that part of it covered. All the course is saying do is take away your mind already works, complaining, thinking something's wrong, wanting to be different, broken into by periods in which you say a positive thought. Take those thoughts and just say, this thought about this is not a neutral thought because I have no neutral thoughts. And then it says, now if you find it effortless, do it. But if you experience the strain, if it's a strain for you to do this, then just do 3. Don't even do 5. Do 3 if it's a strain. And then if it's a strain, say, this thought about strain is not a neutral because I have no neutral thoughts. Use the thought of strain as the subject, right? So he says the length of the exercise period should also be reduced if there's discomfort. Now, what could be easier workbook than this? Right? So your thought about this class is not a neutral thought because you have no neutral thoughts, and I see you as total loving thoughts. Would you acknowledge yourself for hearing this much Holy Spirit? Woo! Woo! Now you see what I mean by the Course in Miracles workbook, right? It's the text is the theoretical framework, the thought system of A Course in Miracles about how to have peace, what the whole thing is about. The workbook is the practical application of the ideas in your day-to-day reality that allows you to see the truth of it. And the teacher's manual is explaining the terms that's being used within the course and how to see them. So right in the Course in Miracles, you have everything you need to change your perception if you really want to change it to something that's joyful. It's right there. And if this doesn't do it, it isn't the only path. It isn't the only path. It isn't the only path, so it'll come to you in another way. So I'm going to do the financial expression of appreciation right now. I'm a full-time teacher of the course, so I want to thank you for sharing with me. So I'll give you here and over here. And those of you online, if you're watching and you want to also make a financial expression of appreciation, which would be greatly appreciated, go to my website, earlpurdy.com. And I'm also available for clarity sessions. And these are sessions where I take the teachings of the Course in the Way of Mastery and other metaphysical spiritual teachings that I've worked with for 40 years, and we apply it to your situation. And for those who are open-minded to it, I will also use my knowledge of astrology and numerology as a way to channel information to you to also be helpful. So if there's something that you know you're not neutral about, that you've been miserable about for a long time, so just go to my website. It explains everything about it, how much it is, what it is, and we can work on it together. I would invite you, if it feels right for you, to make an investment in yourself. You know, the sessions are not any more than a Broncos game. Kevin Hart is coming to the Pepsi Center, this comedian. Do you know how much his highest tickets are to see him? $500.
Oh my God.
So what does that mean? Anybody that pays $500 for a ticket is not going to have a neutral thought about it, that's for sure. And they're going to enjoy the show. You pay $500 for a ticket, you're going to see to it that you laugh. You're going to... The sense of value about something increases the more a person gives for it. And that's just the way it is. That's the way it is. It's really interesting. Barbara Streisand did a live series of live concerts. Blew me away. Her tickets were $2,000 each. She sold out in 45 minutes. So what am I saying? We need to stop limiting ourselves in terms of the value that we think we offer and what we are. There is no lack of abundance. There's just a distribution problem.
Yeah.
And you're the kink in the hose. What's the kink in the hose? I mean, your thoughts. That's the kink in the hose. What's the purpose of the class? To remind us of it so we can join in the truth together, and then it lifts all of us. Your being here today didn't just uplift your mind, it uplifted the mind of everyone in here, everywhere. And that means everybody everywhere that's doing what we're doing today in their own way, they're simultaneously uplifting us at the same time. So you're a part of a mighty wave, a mighty force of awakening that's going on in the world right now. And that's why it seems crazier than ever. Because there's so much light pouring in right now, it's making all the darkness and ignorance come up to be seen and to be healed. That's what's really going on right now. It's not a lack of light that's going on, it's a spotlight that's going on. And there's a spotlight going on in your own life right now. And those of you know what, some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've gotten more sincere about loving yourself and valuing yourself than ever before, and you're seeing everything about you that's nuts. You know what I'm saying? And forgiveness is the other person and you recognizing that that's the only thing that's happening is a purification and a purging that's going on right now. So you won't get fooled by each other's purge. So I'm Earl Purdy. That's right. I also realized I was told the other day to start a brand new, as if we needed one, another religious movement. And it's called Bootism. And so you all are going to be Buddhists. And that's very important. So don't forget that. That's right. Sit comfortably on your booty. Rest on it. And allow yourself to receive the truth. Try not to get too serious about your spiritual path. But be sincere about your spiritual path. Try not to let go of the joy and laughter. Some people get irritated with me and they'll say, well, you're not serious enough. Well, online, there will be a serious Earl. And those who need serious Earl, he'll have his videos. And then there's going to be outrageous Earl, and there's going to be playful Earl, and then there's going to be outlandish Earl. There's going to be an Earl for anyone you need, for any mood you happen to be in. So if you need bricks in the butt serious Earl, this thought about serious Earl is not a neutral thought. If you need the truth to come to a party, Earl, this thought about Earl is not a neutral thought. You dance. And then if you're a person who's depressed most of the time, this thought. I'm depressed. It's not a neutral thought. Angry! This thought is not a neutral thought. So, you just check in whichever one you want to do. Then it's sexy Earl. Let's get this thought on. Let's get this thought on. Neutral thought. You go to that channel, and none of these videos will be for free. I give enough away for free, so to speak. Okay. So, that's what I want to see in you. I want to see a variety of who you are. not your representative, not your mask, but who you really are. That unlimited, beautiful spiritual being that you only show to people you feel the safest with. So this thought about your week and about the rest of this day is not a neutral thought. On Tuesday night, we're doing a kick butt class called The Way of Mastery, which is another class that's about how do you transform this, and it's awesome. So you got a lot of support. Next Sunday, I want to invite you to come back because they're filming that class for the movie also. They want to do one more class to do some editing and stuff. So those of you who can, it would be great to see you. It would be great to have the support. But if you have something else to do,
Cancel it.
don't walk up to me and say, I'm with you in spirit. Please. Okay. Just be with me in spirit. Because I know that the right people will always be with me at the right time, at the right place, and that's how you can free everybody else to feel innocent about whatever they're doing without having a grievance. I invite somebody to my birthday party and they said they can't make it, then I know it's for my own best interest, and theirs too. So I don't have to get into a grievance about that.
Right.
That's the advantage of being with someone who has a thought of love and truth they want to share instead of a thought of grievance and vengeance. A conscious being knows everything is always perfect the way that it is, and that every opportunity is in this present moment. So if you can't make it, I know it's perfect for both of us, and I know you are with me in spirit. Which is simpler? Or for me to keep a list. When I invited, why did you didn't come? You know. So I want to free you because I want to be free. I want my thoughts about you to be loving thoughts instead of fearful thoughts. So together, could we say one time, I have no neutral thoughts. But 1 minute. 1 minute. I have no neutral thoughts. 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 Music. I have no neutral thoughts. 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 I have no. Now look around the room and say, you have no neutral thoughts. You have no neutral thoughts. Say to it. You have no neutral thoughts. 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 You have no neutral. What about we? We have no neutral thoughts. We have no neutral thoughts. We have no. So what about the friends and everybody out there? They have no neutral thoughts. And what? They have no neutral thoughts. They have no neutral thoughts. They have no neutral thoughts. Give it up. You all are total and complete blessing. Go online and sign up for my contact list, or you can come up here and sign up for the contact list. I video all my classes. I email them to the people